Zaneta!
Hello, Stefania. Oh my gosh, are we live?
Yes, we
Are we
are.
are we
We
live?
are. I believe we are.
Oh,
Check it out. Check it out.
I'm gonna check it out because we're doing something. Oh yes, it says Fun Fresh Friday with Zanetta is now live with
Right.
Stefania.
Welcome on Fresh Fridays.
Yay! Hold on. Uh-oh,
Yay.
I'm not live on mine.
You
That's
have to refresh
strange.
the page, refresh your page. Sometimes that happens. You have to like
Okay.
swipe it off and then
Oh,
bring it back on.
you know what? It has it live on my page, but not on, I mean, my, what do you call it? My,
Personal page.
the
Read
redefine, yeah, the redefine me, but not on my own page. I wonder
Are you
why.
sure?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You need it to be on your own page, Zanetta. Let's have a
I
look.
know. Yeah, it's not on there. This is just not,
Do you want to hop
this,
off and come back on? Let's do it again.
oh no, 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 no. I'm just gonna go on my redefine me and then forward it, and we're good to go.
No,
We are good.
I insist.
You no, I'm gonna share it to my feed right
Can
now.
you add it
Share
while we're
now.
here? Can you add it, the destination?
It's
Can you
our
add
it's on there, but I don't know why it's
Oh,
not showing. Yeah.
but you've shared it to your personal page now?
Yeah.
That's what you've done. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Done.
Technology, what it does. I'm telling you. Yeah. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
so we are doing something totally different.
We are.
Um, as we can see that it doesn't work on my page,
Yeah,
on
that's
my
strange.
Facebook
Are you
page. So
sure you toggled off on the Zanetta wooden?
yeah,
Because sometimes, you think you do and then you don't. It's just technology too, We've got to
yeah,
allow for that.
you know. But we're trying something different, so we'll see what happens and what goes on, and if it works. If it doesn't work, then we'll go back to the old way.
Okay.
But we just went live because we wanted to see if there was something fishy or off about um,
FACEB
yes,
double OK.
about their yeah, because
About
they're go
what do we call them? Algo.
rhythm. We got the rhythm. Yeah. So we just wanted to see that. So
Testing 1, 2, 3.
yes. Um. So tonight, our topic. Oh, do we have a shout out?
We do.
Yeah.
Anitra. Hello,
Anitra,
Anitra.
hello. Oh, this is funny. This is new. Do you
This
see
is
that chat where it has the red thing on it now? It has the
Yes,
red dot. That is
yes.
new.
It is new. It
That
says
is
you have
so
a message.
new.
Is that what it means?
Yeah, I guess so. That's pretty cool. Hello. Welcome to Fun Fresh Friday. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, do you have any shout outs?
Um, Not specifically, but I want to shout out to everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. I want to just give everybody a shout out. Every one of you guys out there, every one of you ladies, hi and welcome and
Hello.
hello for Fun Fresh Fridays. I'm feeling
Yes.
a little silly today.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good because our topic is a little hmm, yeah. So everybody's coming like, what is the topic? What is the topic? So the topic that we're going to be talking about is um what is it? Are we afraid to admit that we have mental issues?
Mm.
Are we afraid? Is it because of the stigma it carries?
Mhm.
Or do we? not want to have, anything wrong because, or we don't want to admit it because it speaks about the mental, the mental capacity. Do we, um, do we avoid it because I'm not crazy? That's the first thought that comes to mind. I'm not crazy. Um, I don't have, no, I'm not. But then when you talk to them, oh my God, I'm so depressed.
And why do people relate craziness to mental illness?
Because of the stigma.
Right. But why? Like, who said so?
Right? The one who flew over the cuckoo's nest.
He
No,
said it? Was it him?
it's a
The
movie.
movie. I know.
Yeah, it's a movie. So, it and that's where, that stems from, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it stems from. I just even I had the issue. Like I'm not I don't need I don't need to see a therapist.
Hmm.
I don't need because of what my thoughts were. Yeah, because of what was said to me, um, because of what do you call it? Being uneducated about it.
Mm. Is that what you
Yeah.
were told?
Mhm.
Is that what you were told, that you
Yeah.
were uneducated?
No, 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 because I was uneducated
Okay.
of the word or the terminology mental health.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I guess too, I think a lot of people, the minute they hear mental, the word itself on its, because as children, let's face it, I know, when you were a child back at primary school, more or less, or even I
Mhm.
guess high school, and you'd have other children call you, "Oh, you're mental, you're
Right.
crazy." I don't know if they say that now, whether that's the lingo they use.
Hmm.
You're mental, but it used to be, "Oh, you're mental. You got mental issues,"
Right.
because you were different.
Hmm. Yeah.
And as a child, you know, you grow up knowing that that word mental means, you're not normal.
Yeah.
And of course, what do we want
Crazy.
to do? Yeah, what do we want to do when we're kids? We want to be like everybody else. We want to be socially accepted. We want to be
Hmm.
in the group. We want to be cool because we're
Mm-hmm.
part of so and so's group.
Right.
So this word itself, I think, can be very frightening, can be really disturbing
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
some cases.
Yeah.
And I know when I particularly talk to men, because that's why I never use that word, particularly with men, because, um, you know, it's all of a sudden the walls go up. I don't have a mental issue. I'm
Right.
not
See?
mental. I don't have, and
Yeah.
it's not only men, women as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of do it ourselves, whether we're aware of it or not. We get this feeling inside, something's telling us, well, no, that's a taboo word. That's mental homes, psychiatric centers, and all that sort of, you know,
Right.
constant, um, I guess, constitutions, and
Yeah.
where it can be frightening. And we already have pre-programmed ourselves to thinking that there's something wrong with us. And as I
Exactly.
was yeah, and as I was saying earlier to you, Zanetta, and I just want to bring this up, right?
Hmm.
Because I didn't know the topic just until 5 minutes ago before we
Yeah.
started, right? So,
You don't get
audience
preferential
out there,
treatment.
yeah, I don't get special treatment, so don't think I get a surprise for you. It was just as a surprise to me as it is to you. But when I heard, the topic, and I said, Zanetta, I feel sometimes, I don't know if
Hmm.
anyone feels like this, but I feel like when we, study and learn and evolve and we're transforming and we're growing and we're expanding and we're stretching and the mind is just, taking in so much information
Hmm.
about, you know, how to be more conscious and how to tap into the subconscious mind and how to
Mhm.
do how to speak, how not to speak, how to body language cues, to do, and it goes on and on and on. And sometimes I think, oh my God, like sometimes you think, you know what, I'm better off knowing less than what I know because the more you know, they say the more you're worth, right? I'm not sure if that's an expression. They say that in Italian. The more you know, the more
Mm.
you're worth. Like in other words, you're evolving.
Mhm.
But sometimes it can be very overwhelming, you know, all this information
Mhm.
overload
Yeah.
that we can feel slightly off balance in the mind, like having um, mental issues because you're reading this, then you're reading this, and then you're comparing, then you're dissecting, then you're analyzing, then you're breaking down, then you're doing your whole,
Right.
thesis on it because
Mhm.
that's what it becomes. It becomes a
Right.
thesis, right? That never ever ends. That, by the way, it's not like it ever ends. And you think, oh my God, like, is something wrong with me?
Right.
Do I have a mental illness? Do we have something going on?
Mhm. Yeah.
My take on that, as I sit back and just look at myself and detach myself and become third person removed, I say, no, I can't be thinking that. I believe that we are just being stretched. We're evolving, we're changing. And as we evolve, we're going to feel these highs and we're going to feel these lows. We're
Mhm.
going to feel we're expanding. And of course, when we expand, we hurt.
Mhm.
Like when we are, you know, we have a bloated tummy, that hurts. It's expanding, right? It's something
Mhm.
that needs to come out, right? It hurts. When we're growing as children, as teenagers, we get growing pains. We're
Mhm.
expanding. Our bodies are growing and stretching. Our bones are so we hurt. So I believe, this is my theory, that yes, the mind, we as a whole, as a being, as a spirit, um, feel out of alignment as we are growing, as we're expanding, and it feels like pain. Let's
Mhm.
face it, we call it pain. Feel it hurting, and it can actually physically hurt us because it can be the the physical symptom we get, the somatic symptom that is telling us that we're moving through an emotion, we're moving through some energy that may need to be released. Like anything that needs to be released, it hurts.
Mhm.
Whether it's a bowel movement, sometimes, let's get real here, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
can hurt. Blowing your nose, coughing up mucus can hurt, anything. Giving birth, you're releasing, that hurts, right? So I've come to that conclusion. I know this is pretty deep. I don't know. Maybe I'm going off track here, Zanetta. Let me know.
No, no, that's your take on it. And here's my belief. My belief is this, that no matter, oh, hey, Sanaya, happy
Hiya,
Fresh Friday. Yay.
for joining us.
Welcome. Welcome. Um so here's my belief. My belief is that um when it comes to mental health, or you know it's just like anything that we need. What
Mhm,
we need is, we're so geared towards physical health, right?
mhm,
Make sure that we eat right, we exercise, we get our checkups, we go to the doctor, we go to the dentist. We make sure that we are physically okay. We're physically healthy.
mhm,
And then um, we also have the church, or a place of worship for
mhm,
our spiritual health. So that's
mhm,
where we go to get our spiritual. Well, what happened to our mental? What happened to our thoughts? Because spiritual health. I mean, when you're going to church, you're feeding your spirits, your spirit, your soul. You're going to the doctor, you're making sure that your physical is taken care of. But what about here?
Mhm.
We don't. We don't even think about that. So that's why sometimes we are so exhausted to the point we don't want to talk to anybody,
Mhm.
or we are so fed up with what's happening to us, or what's um, taking place, or how somebody is abusing us, and we lash out on somebody else.
Mhm.
So these are symptoms, the things that we do because of the mental capacity. Like what you said, we're growing, we're learning, we're having all of this information. I'm having information pertaining to, a friend of mine. What? Why are you? Where did that come from? So now mentally, you're thinking, what did I do? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to try to compensate, as to kind of put that relationship, kind of mend it a little bit. So now you're going outside of your character. Nobody's telling you anything about it. Your doctor, your physical doctor, your medical doctor is not going to tell you. There's no. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to make sure that you're not being abused, mentally, physically, and emotionally or verbally. So
Mhm.
these are certain things um, that we don't know. But now, because it's a buzz thing, because it's a growing kind. I don't want to say it's growing. I think it's becoming more um, prevalent, or the light is being shed on it, because there's so many suicides. There's so many celebrities that are committing suicide, and now the mental health um, topic or conversation is finally coming to light, or raising up, that it needs to be talked about. So, what did you say? Is ignoring people and ghosting people a mental issue? Hmm. I'm going to say this. Until I went to a therapist, I did not know my habits are classic classic behavior of PTSD. It's a classic behavior of post traumatic stress disorder. When you ghost people, ghosting, in other words, you don't talk to them, you don't want to be bothered with them, you don't want to associate with them, or you just, that's called avoidance. Because when you're avoiding the issue or the problem, it'll still be there no matter what. When you're ignoring people, it's the same thing. It's called avoidance. So in order for the problem to go away, or for the issue to go away, it has to be handled. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it, it has to be. It needs to be handled. It needs to be handled. Um, you can say, you know what, this is how I am, and be upfront. You know, tell them what you're feeling on the inside. Let them know what they are doing to you, emotionally, if you're being hurt physically, if you're, anything, just let them know. And then go from there. You make that decision whether you want to continue that relationship or not. Period. From this day forth, you are, you will know why I'm ghosting you. You will
Right,
know. Yeah.
right.
So I
So what
think
you're
that's what it
saying
is.
so what you're saying, that you actually bring that to light and tell
Yeah.
people that, "I'm not ghosting you. This is just part of something I'm going through, and it's not intentional." and I do it as a form of I'm working through it, so to speak, because obviously it mustn't feel good when you do it either. Like for some people, they don't care because I think it's become such a habit that it's normal. It's normal behavior, right? Yeah. It's like, what's wrong with that? I just, the fact that I didn't call back or connect, that means I was busy or I don't want to talk to you.
Right. Right.
What does Anitra say? Thanks for clarifying.
Thanks for clarifying that. I always let people know who I am close to, dearly why I'm not reaching out to, but they don't do the same for me. They just cut me off with no explanation.
Mm,
And that is quite okay.
mm.
They actually did you a favor by not contacting you.
Yeah, because they were true friends, or they would reach out. I think sometimes you know, there's a limit, or not a limit, but when if you reach out and that person is not responding, then okay, I'm just going to let this person go now.
Yeah.
But if you're just reaching out of care and just sincere, just thoughts,
hmm
the right intention, that person will think, oh, that was so nice of you, thank you, and it'll flow. It'll, the relationship
Yeah.
will still continue. But yeah, I think sometimes friendships have an expiry date.
Yeah.
Not all. No.
Everything,
Mm.
everything has an expiration date. Ev-
Expiry.
e- Expiring date. Expiry date. Everything has an expiration date. You know,
Yeah.
we don't think about it when it comes to relationships. Uh, there is an expiration date. There is a time where, because if you look back, I know I had some friends that I was close to. Not okay. I'm using the word close loosely. Okay, not us close. Okay, no. There are some friends that I used to talk all the time with. Chat and say hi, how you doing. But now it's silent. So it expired. And was there something there? No, I don't know. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. They didn't tell me. I don't
Mm.
have any issues with them. But so I just let it be. There's nothing here with me. Now, if I am kind of toiling over it, I wonder why they're not calling me. I wonder why then I'd give a call. I would say, hey, what's going on? Haven't heard from you. So I'm giving you a call, checking in on you. Oh,
That's it.
well. And if that's the response, I'm like, got it. And,
Right.
because a friend or, will say, oh my gosh, it is so good that you called me because I've been thinking about you, but I didn't get a chance to. So, or something to that effect. There's that, you know, happiness, genuine happiness that you will hear on the other line that they're
Yeah.
happy to hear from you. Yeah.
You will feel that energy
Oh,
being,
yeah. Yeah.
exchanged,
You will. You
vibrated to.
will. Yeah. And so sometimes we get to, and I know me, I get, in my head a lot. I do. I get in my head a lot. There's a lot of things that I talk myself out of. There's a lot of things that that I have, so I've told this before that I've been diagnosed with complex PTSD, and the complex PTSD is not just PTSD, but I also have depression and anxiety on top of PTSD. That's why it's called complex.
Wow.
So yeah. So when one triggers, the other one triggers it, and then the other one comes right behind it. So I can find myself at times just doing nothing, sitting, watching TV, just binge watching, and I'm content. knowing that the healthy me would be journaling, would be doing something creative, would be doing, something, outside of just lounging and watching TV for hours on end and days on end. So I'll tell you what happened to me when Jeff went on his trip. That's a trigger for me. And I know that I have to, kind of um, recognize what happens externally to trigger the mental health internally. So once I know that, then I'm able to do some coping mechanism. And so what I did was I sat on the couch, watched some TV. Next thing I know, the TV was watching me.
Because your brain was off.
Yeah. And then I fell asleep and I didn't wake up until my cat jumped on me and went down. And then when I saw the time, it's 2:37 a.m. And I was, yeah,
The TV was playing, obviously.
yeah, it was. So I knew that my behavior was because Jeff was not going to be in bed.
So you
Yeah,
didn't want to go to bed
no,
on your own.
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So what I did was, okay, all right, well, let me go upstairs and I'm going to lay down and, you know, listen to Stefania.
You're listening to that bedtime, the pre
Yeah, on the audio. And I went to sleep. And I didn't wake up until the alarm went off. I usually
Oh,
wake up
really?
before the
And you
alarm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I usually wake up before the alarm, but this time I woke up, with the alarm, or the alarm went off to wake me up. Yeah. So there are certain things that I know now, so that I'll have a coping mechanism. I'll have something to ground me. Like today, I went to my therapy session today. She said, "Is there anything happening today that's getting you anxiety?" I was like, "Yeah." I have to go to this school party on the pavement or something like that for Kazaya. So, I went there to support her, but my anxiety level was through the roof because there's going to be a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of things going on, a lot of noise, a lot of activity. So she gave me this duck.
Oh,
and
cute.
and I kept it, and I was just I was like, "Yep, an hour has passed. I have 30 more minutes." And she said, put a timer on," and I did. I was like, "Okay, I'm waiting for the timer to go off."
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gave me some coping skills, some coping techniques and grounding, and it really helped. It did.
Yeah.
It did. It helped.
It definitely they're all little tools that helps us change our state, because really that's what's happening. You're changing your state.
Hmm.
Change your state, changing your thought patterns will change the way that you start feeling, start seeing things, start
Hmm.
hearing, because of course we're all different in our um, senses, how we perceive and take in information. But yeah, I was sharing with you earlier, Zanetta, about having parts integration, which is also another amazing technique that I use in my sessions with my clients. And I had it done, or not long ago. Again, I mean, I've had it done before, but this was another parts, because there's different parts of us. We
Hmm.
have the calm part, you have the anxiety part of you have the stress part of you, the angry part of you,
Mhm.
joyful part of you. And when we can identify how we feel and why we're triggered, what triggers us to slip into that part or that personality type, you can actually integrate it with the part that you want to feel or want to be at the time. So
Mhm.
I think a lot of the times, unknowingly, we tend to push that away. So we hate feeling anxious. We hate feeling anxiety. We hate feeling stress. Okay, let's face it, who does, right? We don't.
Right. And
But
that's why I avoid a whole bunch of stuff.
right, right. But when we can start looking at it as something that we can integrate in part of our life, because it's
Mhm.
never going to go away,
Right.
right?
Right.
But we can still integrate that in with a part that we enjoy feeling and being, and love that part together with the unpleasant part of us, embracing it in a way that it's okay. You know,
Mhm.
it 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 actually helps with the way we feel when we start getting triggered. So it's another tool. It's another way of integrating it, and then having an anchor, creating an anchor.
Mhm.
Um, and it's so beautiful because when you've embedded that into your subconscious mind, like you have with that little duck. It's like, okay, I'm going to pull my little ducky out. I don't know if you have a name for your ducky, but do you have a name?
Bluey.
Bluey. Pull Bluey out, and it's like when we're children, we have that favorite teddy bear, that favorite blanket. We
Mhm.
have, that favorite something we drag around and it looks like the cat's ripped into it, or it's
Mhm.
just in pieces, but it's our safety blanket, it's our safety anchor. And we do it as children. So as adults, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you a funny story earlier. So I'm in this gym, bunch of people running around, kids running around, all that. Kazi's having a good time. And because I had it in my right pocket, ducky. So when I put my hand in there, and when I'm feeling a little anxiety because I'm thinking somebody's going to come up and talk to me. Now, here's the funny thing. This is the funny thing. I'm here going on live and doing all these, speaking engagements and talking in front of, a whole bunch of people and doing all these webinars and things like that. And people say, I would have never known. Yes. I remember I think it was like a little placard on one of the therapists wall where it says uh, you can be outgoing and still have anxiety or something to that effect. You can be a great speaker and have stage fright. You can be so it had all of that, and so I was like, oh, thank you.
I'm normal.
Thank you. So yes, I do have anxiety, especially meeting other people. Oh my God, but I don't look it on the outside, but on the inside, oh my God. If you- um, I don't know if you've seen that movie or if it played over there. It's called Inside Out.
Possibly. I haven't seen it, but I'm
It's a
sure it's.
cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's
Mhm.
about this young lady who um who has all of these emotions. Um, one is joy. One is sadness. I can't remember her name, but one was sad, and one was anger, and one was, I mean, anxiety. So he was all frazzled all the time. So you have these conversations going on when she's going to her new school. So you have this, the anxiety person comes out and is like, oh no, we need to do this. And then joy comes in and says, oh, this will be such a great experience. And so, so Me, it's always the anxiety person and the sad person. Oh my God, this is just gonna fail. It's just gonna be. Yeah, so that's what's going on the inside of me. But on the outside, you don't see anything.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I was there and I saw somebody coming up, and I was like, oh, my heart rate was going. Oh my God. I was like, okay, okay, what was the thing that that my therapist told me? Okay, ducky. Okay, where's my ducky? Oh my God, I was having anxiety because I couldn't
My,
find the ducky in my right pocket because I was holding on to it on my left.
you must have really been racing on that anxiety.
Oh my God, I was like, "Oh no, oh my," I was about to call Jeff. Now, I had my phone on my left hand with the ducky
And that's when
with
you
and I was like, "I need to call Jeff." And then when I was like, "Oh, oh gosh. Let me put it back, yeah, where I can." So I kind of chuckled a little bit. Yeah. So that was a funny story that
it is a funny story, but it's
I'm
interesting.
laughing now. I'm
So
laughing
did that
now, but
person come up to you and speak to you
no.
or no? So you preconceived, you future paced into the
Yeah,
future about
I
something
did.
that wasn't had no idea whether it was gonna happen, but you already with anticipating
Yeah,
that he was or she was. And if
yeah.
she did, what would happen then? Or he? Was it a male or female?
It was a female.
And
Yeah.
was it someone you knew?
No.
No.
So I was already thinking, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Oh my God. Okay. I'm just going to say, hey, hi. I'm already going through this in my mind, um, or if there it must be a teacher, but they must know Kazaya, so they're gonna say something about Kazaya, and I'll be like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking, or maybe, I mean, these are split-second thoughts that's just running through my mind while I'm so, where did I drop Ducky? Did I lose Bluey? What, so those are good thoughts going in my
Wow.
mind. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you had your ducky, your anchor. Maybe you need to
Yeah.
get it the next size up too for different events. Like
No, I can't, because they'll be like, "Oh, what's that?" Nope. Don't want to have that conversation. Nope, not at all. Nope. I'm
excuse
gonna have
me.
this little ducky just like I'm fine.
That's too funny. That's too funny. Yeah, so it's quite interesting how we view mental health, isn't it? How
Yeah.
we um, perceive it, how we react when we hear the word, um, and what do we do about it? Like you said something very interesting earlier, where people will invest in going to church, spiritual or some kind of spiritual ceremonies. We invest in our physical bodies, whether it be exercising or eating.
Hmm.
But do we invest in the mind
Not a lot.
rather than reaching a point where we do end up with an illness or acknowledging that something's not right in our minds
Right.
because of a past trauma or event that happened or something we
Hmm.
may have experienced, that hey, we can you know correct this, we can
Yeah.
navigate through this differently. um, and I often say, which I actually said it to my mum today, believe it or not, because she was huffing and puffing about how she was feeling. And she's the type of person that can't sit with herself. And I think,
Mm.
her and many other people, maybe many people out there listening to this, you can relate to it. I know I used to be like that. I couldn't actually sit with myself.
Mm.
I couldn't actually, just connect with my breath, connect with my being, and just breathe and not think about anything else. Now, that's not to say that I don't have fleeting thoughts come through my mind as I do that even now, but we struggle with just being connected with ourselves, let alone with other people, right?
Mhm.
And she was saying that she wasn't feeling, she was feeling pain in her body. And I said, Mum, just breathe it out. There's nothing really wrong with you. She's had tests on top of tests, and sure, she's, she had some falls and she had some fractures, but the pains were unrelated to her falls, right? So I said, just breathe. Just lay back down and just focus on your breathing. I said, it's a bit like, I gave her an analogy, a metaphor. I said, it's a bit like when you have a splinter in your finger. It hurts, doesn't it? And unless you make time to pluck it out, dig it around, and get it out, it's going to keep hurting.
Mhm.
And I said, that's the same with our bodies. Now, I said to her, you know, the way you're feeling is related to the way you're physically feeling is related to the way you're emotionally feeling.
Mm, mhm.
So I said, so you need to release those emotions. You need to release that anxiety. You need to, just like that splinter,
Mhm.
unless you get it out, the emotion is still going to give you that discomfort in your body.
Right.
And she looked at me. I said, so what did you understand? And she goes, in plain English, or actually is Italian. She says,
Mhm.
it means I have to like dig around and get that splinter out. And I said, yeah, it doesn't have to be as aggressive as that. I said, just lay down and breathe. Just release it through your breath. And, she did. She ended up sleeping another couple of hours because
Aw.
this was like 6:30 in the morning. And yeah, it worked, because I just said, don't think about anything. You got nothing to think about, just your breathing. Just breathe. And sure enough, she did. So then when I saw her later, I said, how you feeling? She goes, I'm a good. I'm a good.
Good.
So, why did I share that? Because we don't sit with that, with our emotions. We don't sit with ourselves. And a lot of it is all in the mind. When
Mhm.
we're avoiding, we're running away from rather than running towards. And
Right.
when we run away from something, it's going to follow us. It's
Yeah.
like, when they say doing shadow work, and that shadow, yeah, that's all the dark stuff. That's what is a shadow? It's dark, isn't it? And it follows us around.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's it's very, very interesting when we commit to investing the time, the energy, money in some cases, most of the time, because we need help outside of ourselves, we will start getting results. We will start getting a transformation. We'll start getting things happening in the way that we desire. So
Mhm.
it is definitely something that worth investing. We
Oh,
invest in our
yeah.
cars, we invest in our homes, we invest in insurance for our cars and homes and all our, you know, material possessions.
Mhm.
But we don't invest in that one part of us that is the most fundamental part of what keeps us going, I guess,
Mhm.
keeps us connected, keeps us grounded, keeps us in that flow and alignment of
Yeah.
mind, body, and mind and heart coherence. So I mean, everybody's talking about it. Let's face it. Wherever you turn, we're all talking about it. But are we really taking notice? Are we
Right.
really taking notice? Like we take notice of what's going on in the news. Like,
Mhm.
boy, do we turn on, not me, not we,
Not
I won't
me.
say
I
we,
don't.
but
Mm-mm.
the majority of people will be glued to that TV and find out, you know, all the worldly, bad events, because it's only bad news that it
Mhm.
shares, what country's being bombed, people being killed, accidents, all that
Mhm.
kind of
Mhm.
uh, destructive, not so feel good news, let's say.
Right.
So yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. Unless we actively become conscious, we need to wake up.
Right.
We
Right.
need to wake up. And I think
Yeah.
that's, to me, that's, you know, what comes to me, and sharing, and the what's the word? I've gone blank.
Mhm.
I guess the message part
Mhm.
of what we're saying here today is wake up,
Yeah.
become conscious of what's happening in the mind, in your
Right.
mental state. And there's nothing wrong with calling it a mental situation, condition, illness, if some people want to call it that. But as long as we don't focus too much on it, that it is permanent. It's
Right.
not permanent, because, like we said earlier, nothing is permanent. It has an
Right.
expiry date. We get to choose when that expiry date is.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if we do have some sort of mental mind condition that is putting us off balance and not in synchronization with our hearts and our mind and our gut, because I always say that as well,
Mhm.
our solar plexus, our, bottom part of our brain, then take action.
Right.
Take action. And it's nothing wrong with doing that. If anything, you're the braver person.
Right.
You're the
Right.
braver person for taking responsibility, wanting to take action, and wanting to choose a better life for yourself and the other people around you. Because,
Exactly.
when we're out of sorts, we're not only miserable, our loved ones are feeling the same, because they love us so much that it pains them, you know,
Mhm.
to see us in a certain way.
Right.
So it has
Yeah.
this rippling effect.
Yeah.
So
That's why Jeff, because when I was telling him that my other therapist, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. He said, you can quit that one. He said, but you need to go to another one. He said, because you do need it. You do need to have a healthy, thoughts. You need to have those thoughts to be healthy. So, um, when I was going, when I first went, I was like, dang, there's a lot of people here that is seeking help. I was like, okay, I don't.
and that's just a drop in the ocean. That's just people that,
Right.
right? Imagine, as a percentage comparison to the amount of people in the world, really, there's not a lot of people seeking help, not
Hmm.
even aware.
Right. Or even have like what we were talking about, like the topic, uh, they won't admit, you know, okay, so don't say that you have a mental health issue. Just go. It's like talking to, you're finally you're telling what a stranger, because we're so quick to tell a stranger how we feel than we are someone who we know,
I
because
know.
we're so afraid to hurt somebody's feeling. But if you're talking to a therapist, and another thing he did that I didn't like,
Right.
and this is how I felt like I was being, yeah. So, so yeah, it was really good. There were certain things that I said to the therapist that I was like, ooh, that's the first time I ever said that. And when I realized what I did, the therapist caught it and said, how does it feel hearing it, that you
Mm,
said it? And I was like, wow, it feels different, but feels kind of good that I'm saying it. I actually said it. Yeah. Hearing it, me say it, audibly, not just thinking it. It did a lot of good. So yeah.
Mm. And
Hmm.
that's definitely, that's being conscious, just taking note, checking in on yourself.
Yeah.
Often we wait for others to check in on us. It starts with us. Start
Yes.
checking in on yourself, and I'm really doing that a lot these days, just hanging out on my own. And I
Let me.
like I kind of really enjoy my own company, and, doing the things that I wanna do, and I'm growing, expanding, and, um, doing lots of research, and yeah, I love it, and reading and listening to
Hmm.
Audible books, and I just finished Robin Sharma's book. Oh my god! Oh my god, can I tell you,
Yes. Tell me.
Shay, about the last 2 chapters or 3? He had me in tears. I was at
Oh.
the gym. I'm like, because I like listening to him when I take him to the gym with me. I
Hmm.
take Robin to the gym with me, and, and then all of a sudden, I could just feel this, you know, welter of tears weltering up around my eyes, and I'm thinking, "Is anyone watching me?" I'm doing some lat pull downs and going, "No, just make some noise like I'm pulling push pushing some weights harder, pulling down on a lat machine." He made me cry right to the end.
Wow.
Right, and let me tell you, I mean, you know the ending already.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it anyway. Anyone wanna get the book, just get it anyway, but
Right.
he really drove home about death,
Yes.
about the end, and of course, because, I recently lost my father, I think that really, touched my heart in certain ways, and also made me look at my own life, and, I guess when it's the end, it is the end, and really not taking life for granted, and being appreciative of the people that, which I am, right? But I think I can take it up a notch. I said,
Mm.
"No, I'm choosing to take it up another notch."
Yeah.
After the way he explained it and put it all into his amazing words,
Hmm.
I went, "You're right. You're right. This is like I'm living my day like it's the end. Today's the last day. I don't know whether I've got tomorrow." And you do. When you start living like that, you definitely start living more fulfilling
Yes.
days,
More
more
intentional.
more intentional, more um, intentional with whatever intention it is, with more love, with more compassion, with more um, yeah, with more of that. And it was just like, wow. And I allowed myself to feel it. I didn't care
Mm.
where I was. Usually I'd be, oh, I can't do this here. Like, can't let anyone see me cry. Like, crying. No, I just allowed myself. And it felt so freeing. It
Mm.
really did. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that
Yeah.
life is precious.
It is.
Life is precious. And we really have to wake up before it's too late.
Right.
We
Right.
hear that all the
Yeah.
time, but again, until we experience something that we are, close enough to death, it could be an illness, a
Hmm.
fatal, a terminal illness. It could be an accident, something that's put us in a situation that we can't do certain things anymore. Like we just mustn't wait for that moment. Just mustn't. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we could think, if we don't like the terminology mental health or mental illness, or, you know, change it, you know,
Yeah.
have your thoughts, become healthy. Healthy thoughts. There you go. I
Yeah.
want my thoughts to be healthy. So yeah, that's so now I'm embracing, because Jeff would always say, well, Zanetta is adverse to therapy.
Mm.
I am. But now, because of the new therapist,
Mhm.
I think it's correct, what they say, you have to find the right one,
Mhm.
in order for you to get out of that shell. So um, so her program is totally different. She goes from childhood on up rather than pinpointing the trauma because she said we're going to rewrite, we're going to correct what was programmed into you. So she kind of explained what it was. She said when you're a child, every child has something that is inherent. You are supposed to have this as a child, and if you didn't get it as a child, there are some consequences and some things that will happen throughout your all the way up to adult, and one of them is value. I was like,
Who,
I was
me?
like,
Hmm.
she said if your caretakers did not show you value, then you will have these certain issues that will come up, in adulthood. I was like, she said, so I'm taking it that you didn't, because she doesn't want to know about the trauma. She just wants to
Yeah, because she's
know.
going right to the root cause.
Yeah.
The root cause is what's been brewing
Hmm.
and actually, you know, created the trauma, so to speak, because they have been what's been modeled to you, your behavioral thinking patterns, and
Yeah.
ultimately, we do create our future. So
Hmm.
whatever trauma, we have endured, it's a hard pill to swallow.
It is. Yeah,
We have created it as a
it
cause and
is.
effect,
It
a
is.
cause and effect to everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I think one needs help. One needs a therapist, one needs a counselor, one needs assistance because there are things that we don't see ourselves because we are in the picture. We are in the play. When you're
Right.
in the theater, you're one of the actors, you're one of the main, you know, um, star people
Hmm.
in the show
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it's your play.
Yeah.
Then that means when you're in that position, you can't see outside yourself.
Yeah. No, you can't. I mean, even just in not being an actor, or in the theater playing the role, as soon as you leave the mirror, you can't see your face. You
Right,
don't see anything. You don't see
right.
anything of you. You see
Mm,
everything of other people.
yeah.
But
And
mhm.
I was just going to say, I was going to say, I was going to correct that where I said you don't see yourself. You don't see every aspect of yourself, every part of yourself. Because remember, I said there's different parts of us.
Mhm.
We only see the parts we choose we want to see. So when we have help, that therapist, that person that's guiding us and helping us, will help us, will bring those to light. Will be asking you questions. You'll be, navigating through it where you will see the different parts of yourself that you never saw in that light.
Right.
And when
Yeah.
you can see them from a different perspective, then
Mhm.
you know what to work with and you know how to, you know, navigate through it. You're going to get the
Right.
tools, you're going to get
Yeah.
all the bells and the bingle things to help you, get.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's fun, and if we look at it as, "Oh, this could be fun. This could actually be fun," right?
Yeah.
An adventure, rather than looking at it as, "Oh, like, I can't bear
Well,
thought of."
well, we always talk about I want to, have a better version of me, or this is the best version of me, or you know, uh, how number one, are you going to have the best version of you if you don't get that, the whole person, the whole aspect of you. So yeah, it's I see myself a little bit better, a little bit, wiser, even with myself, because these are my thoughts, and our thoughts tend to, not tend to, but they do, because what you think also translate in your physical body, which then translate into illness, which then translate into something worse.
Mhm.
So if you don't get this taken care of, if you don't have the awareness, or still think it's a stigma, or it's a bad thing, or it's a, oh gosh, no. Because I do know that in certain religious beliefs, seeking therapy or going, anything of that nature is, um,
Taboo.
yes, taboo. It's of the devil. It's, how can you be filled with the, Holy Spirit? And exactly my same question. How can you be so filled with the Holy Spirit and yet, you know, have perverse thoughts with, and then when you get caught, you're like,
Yeah, and feel like you get back into that, roller coaster of guilt, shame,
right,
blame, and yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And that's what we wanna move away from, right? So
right. We do want to move away from those kinds. Yes.
this has been a very interesting conversation, Zanetta.
Yes.
On an hour?
We are an hour and minute over. We are a
Minute.
minute over. So,
Yes. Great,
yeah.
great, great
So
topic.
we'll see how this works out. And if it's not working, then we'll just go back to what we did before.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Good. So, our takeaways.
What is your takeaway?
I think my takeaway, as I said earlier, is, you know, nurture that mind like you nurture your body, like you nurture, your spiritual side.
Mm-hmm.
We all need a balance. It all needs to be balanced. It all needs to be in coherence.
Mm-hmm.
I really strongly believe that.
Yeah.
Because when it's all in balance, then we are coming from our higher self. Like we are just, we'll feel it. We know when we're in that space.
All right.
And when we're in that space, then we can be of better service to others,
Mm-hmm.
loved ones. Doesn't matter what you do.
All
It
right.
doesn't mean you have to be, a doctor or a therapist or anything. You you can be a mother, one that collects the garbage,
Mm-hmm.
window cleaner.
Right.
You would be able to clean those windows better. You just got so much more life and energy in you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to connect with people. Who was Oh, that's right. A friend of mine was telling me the other day, he said he went and had his hair cut at these regular hairdressers, and he always has the same, woman cut his hair. And he said, he's a male, he said, for some reason, he goes, she was having a bad day. I mean, usually she's amazing, she's good, but she was flinging my head around and being really rough and running those clippers through my head like I was the lawn and she was using the lawnmower. he goes, he's going, geez. He didn't say anything. As I said, did you say anything? He said, no. And he said, but I definitely knew she was having a bad day. So what I'm saying here is when we're not in alignment, it will, you know, vibrate the energy, the frequency will be transmitted into the things that we do, the people that are around us, they will feel it, they will see it, they will hear it by our language.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be conscious. Let's wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up and acknowledge it that it's nothing bad. It's just part of
Right.
nurturing every other part of our body, our being
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah.
in alignment, be in harmony.
Right. Right. Yes. Be in harm. Yes.
Yes. And your
Awesome.
takeaway, Janetta?
My takeaway is that any anything that causes you to not grow or causes you to avoid certain things, certain situations, that you can do it, that you can actually show up and face those, those, like what I did today. I went to the party, the party pavement, the whole bunch of kids running around and adults, and
That's it. You did it. You
I did
stepped
it.
to it. You
I
just
I did it. I was, without Jeff, because I can do stuff with Jeff. As long as Jeff is there, he's like my safety. He's like my, so Jeff was not there. That was the reason why I was having, my anxiety level was off the roof, because Jeff was not there. Um, so yeah, I was able to do it on my own
great. See?
with my little ducky.
Lucky. Right.
Yeah,
Right. So it can be done. You just have to
it can be done.
step outside the box, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah,
Envision the wonderful things that can happen.
yes,
Great. All right. So we'll wrap it up, I guess,
yes.
for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Anitra and Saraya.
Sanaya.
Sanaya, sorry.
Hmm.
Sanaya's your sister, right? No, that's
No,
uh, Sanaya Reid. That's right. Monica Reid's daughter. Right.
yes.
Okay. So thank you. And all the people that are watching on the replay, please hashtag replay, hashtag live, hashtag.
For those that are trolling.
We still love you. We
Yes, we
acknowledge you
do.
as well.
Yeah.
We acknowledge you. And yeah, we will see you next week at Fun Fresh Fridays.
Yes.
As always, we send you love.
And we
And we,
sent you passion.
yeah, bye for
Till next
now.
time.